Because we are the media now. The last message, which is I was in the meeting last night, to the Jewish people here in Saskatoon. We love you. We have absolutely no problem with any of you. You are our friend. We are your friends. And we are one community. And from my position here, in the name of our organizers and Canadians for Justice, we condemned any act against any individual, despite the fact what their position is. We all together, we support each other, and we will be against violence no matter what. Thank you, and please don't forget to follow us on Free Palestine Saskatoon page for next week, a new activity with a new action. We will not release it now, but next week, please follow us there. We will update you. Thank you.
Bojo, Tasimo Ikwe Indigenous Cause, Cody First Nation, Dunjaba, Saskatoon, Pleasant Hill, Didao, Anishinaabe, Ojibwe Ikwe, Ndao. Hello, my name is Ashley Shingoose. I'm an Ojibwe mother of two. I'm here today thanks to my family members that survived St. Philip's Residential School in the Kamsack area. I'm telling you this because residential schools have been on my mind a lot these last weeks. When you take on the responsibility of bearing witness to Palestinian genocide, you invariably come across videos of children the same age as my children. Small children who are on the brink of losing so much that they hold dear and sacred. Small children being recorded who are scared and angry and begging the world to help them so that we in our oftentimes cushy Canadian lives can help ease their pain and struggle, or at the very least, see their fight to be seen as humans. The children at residential schools didn't have the photos or videos of their pain and abuse that we see of today in Palestine. Their pain and war crimes are being broadcast on nightly news. But still, when I see these videos, I feel my own ancestors crying out to me. You're all free to call it whatever you want. Call it recognizing history repeating itself. Call it having a conscience. I call it blood memory. I watch the horrors of what's happening, and I feel every one of my ancestors charging to the surface of my skin, demanding that I take action. I feel the warriors of my family, my blood, demanding that I help. I'm reminded that St. Philip's was originally Fort Pelly until the Canadian government grants started rolling in for upgrades and expansion. And still to this day, our government spends our tax dollars on genocide. Ethnic cleansing and destruction to land have always meant big money to our government. So I wonder, with all the harrowing parallels between Turtle Island and Palestine, I have to wonder where my Indigenous leaders are. I'm not speaking to my grassroots comrades who resist against colonial oppression and have rightfully spoken out against this. I'm speaking to our elected leaders. Where are their voices of outrage? Where are their warriors? FSIN, Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Where are their voices of support for the sovereignty of Palestinians? When we allow Palestinian children to die from the brutal ethnic cleansing happening right now, are we honoring the children who were killed at residential schools? When we wear an orange shirt and say that every child matters, but then we ignore the pleas of another child the next day, are their memories and hopes of growing up free being honored? I don't know how we can honor our ancestors while doing nothing for those pleas from Palestinian children and families. I was taught that when I pass on, I'm going back to my ancestors. They will take me on one last journey, and I will have to share with them what I did with my life, what I did for them and the generations to come. Today, my hope is that my leaders who have stood silent for so far will choose to be loud, to be the warriors that they have promised to be. They too will have to go to their grandfathers and explain either their silence or their fight against injustice. I hope that more and more Indigenous leaders, elected leaders, will rise up and use their roles in our communities to speak out against genocide happening in Palestine. It is something that I believe so strongly that while we stand up and fight for a free Palestine, while we listen to the pleas of Palestinian children and mothers and fathers, that we might find some healing for ourselves, to be the voice we ourselves have needed in those angry moments when we wonder who could hurt children in such horrific ways. We might find healing in standing up together. Our ancestors and family members cried out for justice and freedom once ago. Let's make sure we answer those cries. Kichimigwech.
Has a short poem by Hafsa Jamil.
We hear your cries. The world watches as you don't even get to say your goodbyes. They murder infants and call it defense, then say the Palestinian lives are just at the expense. How can you call the babies non-target casualties? What did they do to deserve these calamities? The unborn baby still in the womb, no chance to survive, gone straight to the tomb. That little boy without his head, is there a limit to this bloodshed? Bombs dropped without remorse as you continue to push the native people of their land by force. 75 years of occupation and fears, and still you're the ones crying with your crocodile tears. They call this land holy for their children to be safe, but what is holy about building a home on other children's graves? What is holy about depriving the innocent civilians of their basic necessities? This is not a war, they are committing atrocities. Spilling more blood than drinkable water, then they continue to slaughter and slaughter. Living in fear of who dies next. Parents writing names on their children's arms while the children shake in fear and look perplexed. How is it that the enemy are the oppressed? Do you not have the slightest humanity? The persecutors always lie. History is just repeating itself while more innocent civilians die. Once again, they'll say never again, but we know and will never forget. The muffled screams of the boy as he one last time gasps for air, or the elder man without words, his house demolished and just a blank stare. This is not so different from the Holocaust, you see. Ever heard of fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? Palestine, we will liberate, you will take back your land, the olive trees, Al-Aqsa, and every ounce of sand. Mark my words, just you wait and see. Palestine will be free. It's not a question, it's a promise, it's a guarantee. Thank you.
Sacred Treaty 6 land, let us acknowledge its traditional caretakers, the Cree, Soto, Dene, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and the Métis. My name is Sonia. I'm a mental health therapist here in Saskatoon, but more importantly, I'm one of you, a seed in this vibrant garden of solidarity. I refer to myself as a seed today in reference to a beautiful metaphor you may have seen floating around the Palestine protests. The metaphor is, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. What a powerful metaphor to capture the resilience of the Palestinian people. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know that we were the seeds. Time and time again, oppressive forces have attempted to silence our voices, to overshadow the Palestinian struggle, but we emerge stronger, rooted like seeds sprouting through the concrete. Looking around, each and every single face that I see in this crowd represents a seed. Each and every one of you has become a symbol of resilience, of endurance. Together we form a garden of hope. In the soil of adversity, we have grown connections, nurturing each other's spirits, fostering togetherness that goes beyond borders and beyond barriers. But our presence here, it's not merely just about assembling. It's about building a community that extends beyond this rally. It's about engaging, about learning from each other, about amplifying our collective voice. Our strength lies not just in our numbers, but in the unity of our community. We are here today not merely to chant slogans, but we are here to sow the seeds of compassion and awareness. Each interaction, each conversation is a watering can for these seeds to nurture and grow into actions that challenge injustice. The power of our community, it lies in this potential, in our interconnectedness, that we find the strength to push back against the oppressive forces. As I look around the crowd today, I see so many familiar faces. Together we have cultivated the silent knowing of each other, but this is not enough. We need to go further. We need to know each other beyond just recognizing each other's faces in a crowd. We need to water the soil so the seeds can grow. I have a mission for every single person here today. We've put aside a few minutes after I'm done speaking here so that we can really come together as a community and engage a little bit with each other. So when I jump off the microphone here, I want everyone to turn to the person on your left or your right, in front of you or behind you, and learn a name, introduce yourselves. And the question that I want to ask you to ask each other is, what is your favorite slogan that you've heard at these rallies? One of the ones that I've seen, we haven't done this one in Saskatoon, but the recent one I saw was, "Occupation is a crime, Israel out of Palestine." So I want everyone to take a few minutes after I jump off to really, spend some time connecting with each other, because we all are so familiar with each other, but we're not connected on a deeper level, and I think we really need that. So I'm here, I know that some of you might be shy, I'm a little shy as well, but I want to remind you why we're doing this. We're doing this for the children of Gaza, who didn't get a chance to introduce themselves today or ever, for the children who didn't get a chance to make friends, who didn't get a chance to live the lives that they deserved. We need our roots to be connected. So let this be a reminder that our resilience, our unity is our greatest strength. Thank you for listening. Please take a few moments to connect.
May God's peace and blessings be upon every one of you. I won't take up much time because I know it's already, we're already into the program. There's a couple of things. First off, please contact your MPs. It's very, very important. If every single one of us contacts our MPs, we can get them, force them essentially to start changing their views and support this cause. That's very, very critical. Continue doing what you're doing. This is what's making all the difference around the globe. And please do more. Social media, petitions, everything. And these rallies are amazing. The next thing is, I would like to remind everyone, once again, we have our brothers and sisters from the First Nations community, and it is critical to support them in every way we can. This is as much as important to us as this cause. The last thing that I actually wanted to mention to you was that I'm part of Islamic Relief Canada. It is a relief organization that provides support to different areas of the world, and we've actually got a team in Gaza, and we are actually still in the process of raising funds. We're waiting for the ceasefire. And as soon as, inshallah, God willing, there's a ceasefire, they will be actually able to move the supplies in. There's orphans that are going to need support, so we have orphan programs. There's different programs for medical supplies, different for food and water. So please, Islamic Relief Canada, it only the admin fees are 13 to 20% maximum. So 13% for regular. There are cases when the fees are 20%, but that's less than any other organization. You can actually look this up. It's very clear on their website. So whatever money you send, 87% will go directly to those who it's intended for. So please, Islamic Relief Canada, donate as much as you possibly can. This is the time. Because as soon as things improve, inshallah, we will be able to get the food and the supplies and the psychosocial support to those in need on the ground. Thank you so much. Free, free Palestine.